The GameCube is one of the most Nintendo systems ever to come out. I mean, it is one of those things that Nintendo had to take their own take on this generation of systems. It was their first system that used optical discs. However, had to use a smaller disc because they were worried about piracy and other things of CDs and DVDs. It had a handle on it, so you could take it with you to your friend's house to be able to play. 4 players right on the front, had your memory card slots. You could even play Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance games with the optional Game Boy Player accessory. Hey everyone, Gary here from Rock Solid Productions. Thanks for checking out our episode that we have here today. I hope you really do like it. And if you do me a huge favor. Hit that subscribe button and that bell notification. That way every time we upload new content, you are kept the most informed and up to date. One of the fun things about the GameCube is the colors that it came in. Like this is my Spice Orange Japanese GameCube that my amazing wife gave to me 3 or 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago now for Christmas. Thank you very much again for that, Ginger. This is amazing and you are awesome. Now, the reason why I have this one out and I've got my American down here playing is the fact that with these models, you actually had a digital output on the back and that you could tap into better quality cables back in the day. Now, today they're stupid expensive because not a whole lot of people bought them. Composite and S-Video were the most common ways to hook up a GameCube. Component, while they were out there, not a whole lot of people used, and quite honestly, I believe you could only get those cables right from Nintendo. Well, thankfully, other manufacturers have stepped forward and released devices that will plug right into that digital output and give you not just component video output, but HDMI output. One of those is the Retrobit Prism HD adapter, and we've actually done a review on this. Check it out right up there for you. Now, this box has been smushed and smashed, and we've recently moved, and it kind of got beat up in the move. Thankfully, the dongle itself is just fine. It's what's playing on our American GameCube down here and bringing us these beautiful pictures. Now, there's a couple of these out there that kind of sort of do the same thing, and they're all based on the GC video architecture, essentially. Now, one thing that sets the Prism apart is if and when there are firmware updates, the ease of which you can apply those updates. See, unlike some of the other ones, and I'm not taking cheap shots at them, I have a Carby, it's a good device. I have a GCHD and a GCHD Mark II. Great devices, love all of them, and I appreciate what they bring to the hobby. But the nice thing about the Prism is how easy it is to perform those firmware updates because you perform. I did say perform, didn't I? Perform, I did it again. Perform those firmware updates. And the ease of that is because on the side, it just uses a USB-C type connector. And that's all that we need to be able to do this update. Now, we need the firmware as well. We're gonna walk you through all the steps of what you need to do to update the firmware in this on your PC, and I'll give you some examples of what it looks like. Let's go get started. So we have disconnected our Prism HD from our GameCube that we were playing it on, as you saw in the intro. Now, one thing that we really need to make sure that we do before we do this update is we need to have a USB A to C cable that handles data. A lot of them will only handle things like charging for your phones and whatnot. We need to make sure that we have one that'll handle data, and I happen to have one right here. Additionally, Windows may detect the software as harmful and you may need to run it as admin. I assure you, it's one of those things, they just really need to update the security certificates on these programs. Don't worry about it whatsoever. I'm going to walk you through downloading the firmware and everything that you need to go ahead and use for this process. I'm going to show you where to find it too, and we'll play a couple of games and see how it turns out. So as you can see here, I'm looking over here because that's where my second monitor is, where you are all seeing in the center of the screen. We are on the Retrobit website. Simply go to support, and then from support come down here to accessories, because they also have like updates for their controllers for like some of the Saturn controllers, the NES and Super NES controllers. So come down to accessories, bam, that guy right there. Now, before we go too far, I want to just point out this right here on my desktop. I already have a Prism update folder set up. So we're going to go to firmware, and it automatically downloads it for you. That's the nice thing. So we're going to take and we're just going to do drag and drop. Boop, there we go. Double click into our folder, which I'm sure, yep, opened on the wrong screen. That's fine. Prism update. So this update was labeled October 28th. I've been meaning to do this video for a little bit here, so I apologize for my delay. Before you can go ahead and utilize this software, you need to unpack and unzip it. So I just have 7-zip on my machine. We are going to extract files. If you don't have 7-zip, WinZip, or other things, it should be able to work for you. And there it is asking me where I want to extract the file to. I want to extract to this exact same folder here, so we will extract. Click inside that folder. Here's your instructions, either as a PDF or as a text document, and then the file there. So let's dive into the instructions, shall we? So this update brings the retro Prism for the GameCube up to date with the current GC video firmware version. The latest update includes changes were made to the audio subsystem to reduce the chance of timing failures during synthesis, improve compatibility with some Samsung TVs. I have a Samsung TV here, so I'm glad to hear that. I haven't had any issues myself, but good to know. It kind of caps that so it doesn't have an issue with it. Fix video info codes of 16:9 modes. Prevent excessive screen blanking during menu transitions in some games. Eternal Darkness, I guess that's an issue. I don't know. Let's see. Added 486 to 480 cropping for GBI. For further information, go to the GitHub right there. So to install, open the included on a PC, the included software on a PC running Windows 7. If you're still running Windows 7, update already. It was free. I kid. Windows 7, Windows 10, Windows 11. You may need to allow the program to run as it may show as an unrecognized program. So we shall do that. Let's go ahead, and here is our updater right there. To avoid any issues, I'm running it as admin just to start, so we're going to run as administrator. If you didn't know how I got to that, simply right-click on the mouse. I use a trackball, so click on that. Here you can see Windows prevented, Windows protected by machine, more info. I'm going to run anyways. It's asking me here, do I want this app to make changes? Yes, I do. And I haven't connected my device yet, so let's go ahead. USB-C cable to the Prism. Plug it on over. Waiting, 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 waiting. So I'm going to say this cable does not do data, so we shall grab, I've got a couple others here just in case, which is interesting that that cable did not do data since it did power up the red LED. I did try a USB-C to C cable earlier, and it did not light up the LED. Still no device detected. Was ist los mit Sie? What I'm going to do is I'm going to try my phone real quick just to make sure. Okay, so my phone tells me that this is a data cable. So as you saw, so what we're going to do here, I'm going to close out, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to plug it in, and now I'm going to launch the firmware and see if that makes a difference. Oh, and it's setting up device. We're setting up USB, and you can't see it because it's on my other monitor. It's setting it up as a COMS 4 item, so or COMS 4 device. I'll wait for Windows to tell me that we are in the clear. All right, so there we have the firmware is open. Device detected. Select the desired firmware. So what I have here is two different firmwares, it looks like. I have 3.1 and 3.0E. Select version 3.1 update from the drop-down menu. So what I have here, there are two firmware versions. It is V3.0E is the base firmware. It's what it's shipped with, so good to know. So we shall do 3.1. Click the update button. Sit back and let it plug and chug. Now this is going to take a couple of minutes. Just let it do its thing. And from here, it should go ahead and restart. And this is the beautiful thing about this, is the fact that I kind of want to pick it up and show it to you, but I don't want to risk it disconnecting during the update process. Is you don't need any special programmers like some of the other ones out there. And this is not a dig on the Eon or on the Carby. They're both great units, and they all use pretty much the same backbone. They're all using, it's not GC Loader, it's GC Video or something along those lines. So they're all using the same essential back end. It's the way the hardware is designed to allow you to go ahead and do this update using simple things like a USB-C cable, which is awesome. And just like that, we're 45% in, and we're gonna let it do its thing. '93, '94. We're getting close to the finish. Update is a success. We're going to go ahead now. A pop-up will indicate that the Prism is ready, and it will safely disconnect from your PC, which it has done. Now it's time to test it on our GameCube. No memory card inserted, which is fine. We're going to continue without saving. Diving into F-Zero GX here. This is a great looking and sounding game. Now, one thing I will say is with the Genki Shadowcast, with this guy here, I am capturing straight off. I'm not going into the Genki Arcade. I'm actually using just OBS for everything. The firmware updates and whatnot to reduce lag and latency doesn't do a damn thing for this side of things. So that's kind of one of the bummers of it. So we're going to go ahead and we will go to the Grand Prix. We're going to take Blue Falcon. I like using Blue Falcon. Still a wonderful looking game. Yeah, not the greatest of starts, but not terrible. Again, getting some lag and latency, and just because of, you know, that Shadowcast, the way it's working. I mean, it works okay, and it works a hell of a lot better through the Genki Arcade, I will say, than through OBS, just because of the lag inherent. Now, if you have a Mac, my understanding is no issues whatsoever, because of pretty much all the development was done on a Mac. Trying to go on the inside, top 10 up to 8th, there's 9th, 7th. Plus, just an amazing soundtrack on this game, too. I mean, that's one thing I do have to say. Up to 5th, 4th. This is the final... Or wait, no, that's Daytona. Daytona! Another Sega game, just like this. That's right, if you weren't aware, Sega actually did this version of F-Zero. And it's a great one. Oh, ooh, got the turbo there. He's gone turbo, and I hit the wall again. Outside the top 10, that's a bummer. Yeah. You know what we're going to do to make up for that? We are going to take on the Death Star. That's right, we're going to fire up Rogue Squadron. Now, one of the reasons to show Rogue Squadron 2 Rogue Leader is the fact that this changes resolution a ton throughout the gameplay. Now, one other thing too, I'm going to actually turn the volume down on the music because the John Williams score gets copyright claimed on everything. So, a little bit quieter on this one just because I don't want to get hit with that. I forget if I pointed it out too, but I am also using our Wavebird controller here, playing through our laptop monitor here, so... pretty decent experience. Again, just a little bit laggy due to using the Shadowcast. Yes, we are sure. One of the things that absolutely blew me away the first time I played this game and loaded it up, this opening cinematic here. This is something that felt like it was right out of Star Wars A New Hope. I mean, it looked beautiful, even on crappy composite cables, and then we got S-Video, and then after that we even got, well, some people got component video cables, I did not. But now later on, having something like the Prism to be able to play and have it look this beautiful. I can't overstate how much I love the way this game looks, feels, and plays. All right, here we go. And here you can see it is 640 by 450i, so interlaced, but look how good that looks even for interlaced content. Now, I will even say this game stands up today with just how beautiful it looks, the sound quality and everything on it. The gameplay is terrific. I would dare say that this is right up there as good, if not better, than Well, definitely better than Battlefront 1, probably better than Battlefront 2, and I dare say better than Jedi Fallen Order. This is the game as kids that we just always wanted to play, and the NES wasn't capable of doing it. The Super NES wasn't capable of doing it. Even the N64 really couldn't display graphics as beautiful as this, that were as immersive. Give you an in-cockpit view here. Look at Yavin up there. Look how beautiful Yavin looks. Just the detail. Again, resolution change. Handles it without a problem whatsoever. Let's see if we can take down some ties. Now, the one thing I always found on this was that the ties tended to blend into the background. Like right now, I'm having a hard time seeing them. There they are. Got one. So what do I think of the firmware update? I mean, it takes an already great device and keeps it looking great. The update process I thought was super, super easy. And it's one of those that there's not much that they can really do to introduce a whole lot more features to the device. But as easy as it is to do, if and when updates do come out, being able to do them in minutes, not needing any special JTAG connectors or anything like that to perform those updates, that's definitely something. It's that service after the sale sort of thing, and something that really, come here, you squad, really absolutely makes me appreciate the Prism that much better. All right, now it is time to go ahead, as you see me kind of lean side by side or side to side there, telling you no lies. Now it is time to go ahead and give you our final thoughts. So there you go, pretty simple and straightforward update process for the Prism HD from Retrobit. Thanks to them for giving us the heads up that this was coming. I'm sorry it kind of took a little bit longer for me to get to than I wanted to, but hey, we were moving. What can I say? Just terrific. I love the way that this works. It just works. That's the best part about it. Now, granted, my battery is dead on this, and I do need to replace the remote battery, but that's a couple bucks and we'll be back up and running. Now, one thing that is really cool that we will be doing to our GameCube here soon is Jason over at GameTech US offers a fan upgrade kit. So we got in here, we will be upgrading the fan on our GameCube soon. So it will be quieter, it'll be cooler, and man, it's hard to look much better than this, but let me know what you think down below. Do you have a Prism? Have you thought about updating the firmware on it, or have you already done it? Let me know down in the comment section. If you've got any other comments or questions, as always, feel free to email me at rocksolidmail@gmail.com. You can send me a message on Twitter at RockSolidStudios. We are on Facebook at facebook.com/RockSolidProductions and Instagram at instagram.com/RockSolidProductionsGK. And we're now getting into 3D printing. We've recently launched our new 3D printing store where we've got different accessories for modern and retro video game consoles. And we are also now posting content to our new dedicated Rock Solid 3D printing YouTube channel. And we're gonna kind of keep that stuff on both channels, but focus on it a little bit more there than here. Now, if you do want to pick up a Prism, if you're interested in one of these, do me a favor, head on over to CastlemaniaGames.com. Ryan has these available and in stock, and the cool thing about it too is you earn what's called Castle Cash. It's his rewards program where the more you spend, the more you earn towards future purchases, and Castle Cash is just like cash. So if you've got 20 bucks in Castle Cash, you've got 20 bucks to spend at the castle. And you can also try promo code ROCKSOLID10 to save you 10% off of most items on the website. Doesn't work on everything, but it does work on most items on the website. And if you like what you see here, if you want to see more, check out our original review of the Prism, which I mentioned earlier on here in this video. Also do me a huge favor, hit that subscribe button, that thumbs up button, and that bell notification. That way each and every time we do upload new content, you are kept informed and up to date. And if you want to see more cool videos we've done with Retrobit on the GameCube and other modern and retro gaming accessories, those videos are coming up for you right now. Thank you for watching this video. If you would like to support the future of Rock Solid Productions, you can do so by visiting our Patreon page at patreon.com/rocksolid. For as little as $1 a month, $12 a year, you'll get early access to all of our video content, exclusive content, and a whole lot more. You can also become a channel member here on YouTube for as little as $1.99 a month, and with that, you get a badge next to your name when you comment or post on the channel, and you are acknowledged whether you are a channel member or a Patreon supporter at the end of each and every one of our videos. You can also support the channel by visiting our Teespring store on screen now, where we have t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, masks, cell phone cases, and much more. Again, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you soon.